Hey guys, it's Matt with Mix Coach here, and today we're going to do a quick review of Sound Radix's drum leveler. I got to beta test it early on, and first time I used it, I knew they were really onto something special. And basically, it works like a compressor expander, and the way it actually detects levels, though, is it does it based strictly off of volume changes rather than actually using like VCAs or modeling any kind of circuitry. It is literally just taking it like writing it, but they've optimized the circuit for more transient based stuff such as snares, kicks, tambourines, toms, anything transient heavy such as drums. And there's also I've found great uses for it in instrument applications, and I'll show you one in a minute actually, at just how effective it is. But real quick, we'll play the drums here, and I'll just start with a few presets I've made and kind of tweak it and go over the interface, and we'll talk about it. But first, we'll pull up the kick here, and we'll just play a little bit, and we'll watch it, see what it does, and then I'll talk about it for a second. And as you can see, a very simple interface, works very much like a compressor. Right here, this is minimum retrigger of how close. Maybe you have really fast kick or really fast snare rolls or something. You can sit here and adjust and play with when you want it to be able to retrigger the next sound. And you have gain reduction control here if you're only wanting it to use a couple of dB to either expand or compress, or you can just full throttle it. And then here's basically how much you want it to act like a compression ratio. If you don't want it to get it real tight, you can bring it down, and then you can actually have the opposite effect. I typically run it pretty tight because it's so transparent at what it does, and it keeps kicks and snares and toms really, really, really tight. And it's really easy to set up. You have your target level here, and then this threshold here, anything below, it won't try to trigger anything. And then you can use this, anything above it, it won't mess with it either. So you can dial in, like on hi-hats, you can get way down where the hi-hat is and give it a limited range to work with. Like on an overhead track, you can limit the bandwidth and dial in hi-hats and stuff like that. Really, really, really cool stuff. And again, super easy to use. Input, outputs that you can adjust if you need to tweak anything. And then right here, all it is a hold and recovery. You're just looking at typical gate type stuff where how long it holds above it and then releases. And then you have the side chain, which is very useful with solo features, so you can dial in exactly what you're needing for whatever the track is, so it doesn't trigger something incorrectly. And I mean, that's basically it. It's very simple design, but extremely effective. And we'll just listen to the drums. Side note, sometimes I like to free up DSP, and we will look at the toms, and you'll notice they're very even. And if you go and listen to them, they sound so natural. No compression at all, or compression artifacts. And I just render them through Audio Suite, so that way I save up some DSP, and it's already rendered to the track. And I should have made a playlist so you could have seen the before and after, but I don't think I did. No, I did not. But we'll just listen to the drums. I have it on the kick and snare, and we'll bypass it in and out so you can hear the difference. Again, it's incredible. It keeps everything so solid and so even, and it's just transparent. So, sometimes you want a compressor for color, sometimes you don't. And This is just an excellent alternative, especially for drum loops where things may be real hairy. Again, dialing in those different thresholds will allow you to really fine tweak whatever's within the loop to whereas if you would have had the isolated close mic or whatever, it really helps you. I've had to use this for like snare tracks. This stuff was recorded well, so it didn't need it. Like on the overheads, maybe the snares were really hot for some reason, and you don't want it. You want to be able to bring up the overall level of the overheads for the cymbals, but you can't because the snare's really hot. Well, this can allow you to dial in that threshold and then set your sidechain filters to where it's just working on that really hot snare. So really advantageous from that perspective. And then also, we will go over here, and I found great uses for it with instruments as well. On this mandolin, there is a rhythmic part where I don't like to use a lot of compression or any at all on certain acoustic elements. And here you will find that I wanted to kind of keep this kind of consistent and even. And without it, we'll take a listen, and I'll bring it in. And that way I have excellent dynamic control over it without any compression artifacts. It's really a wonderful tool. I use it on bass, acoustic guitars. It's been helpful. So if you haven't tried it, I highly suggest trying a demo, seeing if it'll help you out. Because for me, with acoustic instruments, I like that natural sound, and sometimes it's what you want for the drums. And really, the biggest benefit, I think, is for drum loops or stereo mixes maybe that you got, or some stems that have out of control volumes that you want to be able to tame and dial in that otherwise you wouldn't have been able to do with just an ordinary compressor, or be able to do it with such transparency. Definitely give this a try, and hopefully this has helped someone, and we'll catch you again next time, guys.